Healing the sick. Prophet Muhammad miraculously healed others as well. He treated his cousin Ali when he was inflicted with an eye infection. One of his companions said, "The Prophet spat in his eyes and invoked good on him, and became all right as if he had no ailment." Prayers immediately answered. During a period of severe drought in Arabia, one of Prophet Muhammad's companions beseeched him to ask God to send rain. The Prophet raised his hands in prayer, and within moments a cloud appeared in the horizon, coming in their direction. One of his companions stated, "When it came in the middle of the sky, it spread and then rained. By God, we could not see the sun for a week." After 7 days of non-stop rain, a companion of Prophet Muhammad implored him to ask God to stop the rain, as the constant downpour was overwhelming. The Prophet raised his hands in supplication, and moments later, the sun gradually began to appear as the clouds parted, moving away from the area. Tree trunk crying. The Prophet used to stand on a tree trunk to deliver the Friday sermons. A companion of his offered to build a proper pulpit for him, and the Prophet obliged. However, when he used it for the first time, a loud crying sound came from the tree trunk. Many of Prophet Muhammad's companions witnessed this firsthand and heard what sounded like a child crying. The Prophet descended from the pulpit and embraced it until its weeping eventually subsided. He then explained to his companions, it was crying for missing what it used to hear of religious knowledge given near it. The ability to stir emotions in plants and animals, including an inanimate object as in this instance, was one of many miracles granted to Prophet Muhammad. Foretelling the future. In addition to performing physical miracles, Prophet Muhammad also foretold many future events. For example, he mentioned a time would come when shepherds will compete in constructing tall buildings. This prophecy is clearly evident for all to observe as it manifests itself in the Arab Gulf today. Until just a century ago, the Arabs in the Gulf region were in fact living a more primitive shepherd lifestyle, as compared to the rest of the world. This all changed with the arrival of massive oil wealth in the mid-20th century, with much of the resulting wealth being invested in erecting skyscrapers across the region. There are many other similar miracles performed by Prophet Muhammad throughout his life that attest to his extraordinary connection with God and the truth of his prophethood. However, hearing about these events later isn't as impactful as experiencing them in person. Out of God's mercy and justice, He gave Prophet Muhammad, his final messenger to humanity, an everlasting miracle which could be appreciated by all people until the end of time. That miracle is his final revelation, the Quran. Everlasting miracle. One of the miraculous aspects of the Quran is its unparalleled literary excellence. At the time of the Quran's revelation in the 7th century CE, Arabic literature was at its peak. Unlike the world's great civilizations, which built impressive monuments or established vast empires, the Arabs prided themselves in their literary excellence. Prophet Muhammad wasn't known to have composed poetry and was actually illiterate. However, when God tasked him with prophethood at the age of 40 and began revealing the Quran to him, the Arabs were mesmerized by the supreme eloquence and unique rhythmic style of its verses. It didn't fit traditional poetic forms, nor was it in the category of prose. It was completely different and far superior to any literary work known to them. This wasn't just the opinion of Prophet Muhammad's followers. Even one of his harshest enemies, Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira, reluctantly admitted to the Quran's greatness. By God, the words brought forth by this man are such as to be incomparable with any of the others. by God. His words possess a charming sweetness and a particular beauty. It is superior to all other discourses. Since the time of Prophet Muhammad, Muslims have strived to memorize the Quran, aided by its divine style and flow. Today, an estimated 10 million Muslims around the world have memorized the entire book, most of them being non-Arabs. In the end, another miraculous aspect of the Quran is the fact that it has remained unaltered since its revelation more than 1,400 years ago. This, then, truly is the Word of God, as it was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, who had it scribed in his lifetime. The Quran, indeed, is the greatest miracle God gave to Prophet Muhammad, and humanity continues to benefit from its guidance even today.